Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news in the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed, baby. So let's talk a little Dillian Whyte, a heavyweight contender from Britain, one loss to Anthony Joshua. Pretty good fighter, been wanting Deontay Wilder for the longest, if you let him tell it, right? So, he's been acting up and go back and forth. I want Wilder. I've been waiting so many days to fight Wilder. And then he'd get countered by Wilder and others. Wilder gave an interview the other day, and it made me need to put on my told you hat, because he said everything we're talking about. He didn't fight Dominic Brazil and Luis Ortiz on several occasions, and Ortiz was mandated to fight that Dillian Whyte. He rejected. Then Deontay Wilder gave him his word that if he fights Ortiz, that he can get him. So they can go around all these stipulations. So they can make the fight happen. So Dillian Whyte, and I was just been doing videos about Dillian Whyte. Hey, man, do something where, the fight will be big in the States instead of just calling him out. Right? So Dillian Whyte has come out and said, hey, listen, I'm sick of all this. I'll release some WBC documents and embarrass Deontay Wilder. Right? He said, shoot, man, the Dominic Brazil fight, I accepted that fight. The WBC pulled out Dominic Brazil and said, no, you just fight Deontay Wilder. Then my point to Dillian Whyte was just bring out the documents. You know what I mean? Just do it. Stop talking about it so people can see what's going on. So we can stop saying Dominic Brazil. Because we know that Dominic Brazil asked you to fight. We don't know what happened after that. And I know I can remember something was fishy there. I think that happened after a time when Dillian Whyte didn't accept. And then they said, okay, well, let's take Dominic Brazil. Right? But he said he accepted. So let's just see what happens, right, with that. I think he needs to come out with these things so, people can know what's up. And no matter what he said in that article, which I'll put in the description box, he still didn't mention Ortiz. It was a whole bunch of hot air, but no Ortiz. And right now, even instead of talking, we keep saying, Ortiz, we got to fight, man, in England, right? Daniel Dubois versus Joe Joyce. That's about to be on English pay-per-view. They about to put that on pay. Ain't nobody a champion or nothing. They put Jazura on pay-per-view with 9 losses. Britain, that's their thing. Don't want to get in their business, but that's a lot of pay-per-view for people that need to be, seen for free. And you got to figure out how to do it. Get some sponsors or something because, everybody shouldn't be on pay-per-view. The poor Brits paying for everybody pay-per-view. Somebody get 3 wins and he's British, he on pay-per-view. They need to stop that, right? But if you can put that Daniel Dubois and your boy Joe Joyce on pay-per-view, you guys tell me that Dillian Whyte and Ortiz wouldn't be a huge pay-per-view on both sides. I think that'd be pay-per-view, could be a pay-per-view in the States. Just wouldn't be a big pay-per-view. But in England would be huge. We talk around it. He's about to fight Povetkin, an old guy. Because the reason why I don't mention Ortiz, because he can't call him old no more. Because he just had Marius Vach, who's just as old as Ortiz or older, and Povetkin, who's just as old as Ortiz or older. Right? So that's the point. He can't mention that. But all of this stuff, then my point is, let's go out there. Because he says in there he's fought more champions. Right? I fought more champions than Deontay Wilder. My resume's better than Deontay Wilder. And I'm like, what champions? Because you lost to Anthony Joshua, who's a champion. And there's no other champions. And people do not come with Lucas Brown. That's a regular champion. Those are not. I don't even know why they got champion after their name. Because listen, Lucas Brown was champion heavyweight. You know that makes no sense, don't you? Right? How did he become a champion when all these other dudes is around? And that's because WBA won sanctioning fees and they just put it. Lucas Brown has never been a top 10 or top 5 for sure not. But he had a regular title, just like Royata Morata, who Canelo about to try to fight. I'll do a video about that. Rory Fielding, right? All these guys that you mentioned that have regular titles, they're not the best in their division or close to it in most cases, right? So that's who he's talking about, champions. Lucas Brown isn't. You haven't fought a champion. When you did, you lost. And Joseph Parker was a former champion, and you didn't really beat him, right? Not saying that Dillian Whyte is not, awesome. He's a good fighter, and he's going to come to fight no matter who it's against. He ain't going to be scared of nobody now. But I'm just saying, he's saying Deontay Wilder's cherry-picking his defenses, and, he's still counting the days that he hasn't got a shot at Deontay Wilder, but he's not doing the things that he should be doing. And how do you cherry-pick mandatories, right? Stavern, mandatory. Brazil, mandatory, which could have been you, right? And then While you're talking about days you're counting, you're not the champion. I'm trying to fight the guy above you, which was Anthony Joshua. I've got time for the guy who lost to Anthony Joshua. What are you talking to me for? Right? You need to be readjusting Joshua. Right? But I'm trying to get Joshua. He was scared. Now I'm messing with Fury because he's lineal, and they've been talking about lineal is so important. So I want to get that out the way. In the meantime, you beat Ortiz when no one's talking about anything anymore. There's no discussions anymore. And as far as the WBC goes, right? They're skeptical too. I'm skeptical of the WBC. That's suspect, right? That's Wilder's thing. You notice Wilder had the title as long as hell. Canelo barely had the title. Matter of fact, Canelo threw the damn title away when they wanted him to fight Golovkin the first time. And since then, WBC does anything for Canelo. Franchise championship. What the hell is that? Giving a guy a championship so he doesn't have to fight is mandatory. Him and Lomachenko, right? Why do you make that up? So, all these sanctioned bodies could be, skeptical. So as far as Dillian Whyte goes, release the papers then, right? Instead of talking about it. And anything, if you want an accelerated process to get to Deontay Wilder, all you have to do is take the biggest fight you can have other than Wilder and Joshua. And that's Louis the Real King Kong Ortiz on either side of the pond. And he will not, refuses to talk about that, right? Povetkin and Ortiz is sitting there right now, and I'm gonna keep saying it. That's the only thing that's wrong with when Dillian Whyte talks. It makes basically no sense talking about Wilder like he's like, who are you to Wilder? Do you understand? Joshua, Tyson Fury, unification, undisputed. If he can get that by fighting you, he would do that. Reminds me a little bit of Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence and stuff like that. Now Sean Porter. Hey, Terrence Crawford needs to come up a weight division and fight Sean Porter. Sean Porter lost to Errol Spence, and he's my friend, but that's a whole different problem. Why y'all want me to fight Sean Porter? I want the guy with the belts who I can become undisputed, and then Sean Porter can line up. And if Sean Porter wouldn't have won that fight, exactly like Dillian Whyte, if Dillian Whyte would have beat Anthony Joshua, had the title, do you really think that Deontay Wilder wouldn't be trying to fight him? There is the thing. So stop it, everybody, and especially Britain. Please stop the crap. Tell him what he needs to do so he can get the fight. Stop going around beating around the bush and fighting who you want to, and still calling Deontay Wilder's name. Right now, you're about to fight Povetkin, and switch Povetkin with Ortiz, and watch how all of the dialogue changes. But it won't happen because it's easier to say do what the hell you want to do and say, hey, I want Wilder, right? Because you got some people behind you talking about, yeah, that's what all that is. So let's see. Dillian, release the damn papers, and then maybe, somebody can understand what the hell you talking about. Doma Sports Talk, worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.